Welcome to the Consulting Kingdom, the ultimate podcast for business consultants who are ready to master their craft and make a meaningful impact as a kingdom business. Hosted by Patrick Bell, this podcast dives into powerful strategies and actionable insights that will help you grow in your consulting expertise. Through expert interviews, the Consulting Kingdom pulls from our guests their advice and equips you with the tools and knowledge and heart direction necessary to drive extraordinary results for your clients and your business. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on social media for exclusive content and updates. Now, get ready to unlock your consulting potential with the Consulting Kingdom.
All right, everyone. Hey, I'm here with Ken Anderson. Ken, hey, listen, we met in Portugal. That was kind of a God moment. You know, we were in Madeira, Portugal, in the island of Madeira. We were in Funchal, and we showed up at this little church on a Sunday morning looking for someone to chat with. And I heard, oh, he's in marketing. And I'm like, I want to talk to him. So what do you remember about that time?
Yeah, it's same thing. I was gonna comment on that. I wasn't sure if you would go there, but yeah, it was we were in Portugal for about a month on this little, for those who aren't familiar, Madeira is actually closer to the coast of Morocco
Yeah,
than it
don't
is to
share the secret
Portugal.
too broadly there.
Yeah, that's right. I probably should stop
Yeah.
talking. Anyway, you wouldn't like it, never go there. But my wife Catherine and I were there for about a month, and we wanted to go to a church while we were there. So we found this tiny little church. We didn't know how small it was when we decided to go there, but we got there and it was this tiny little, I don't know, Pat, maybe 30 or 40, 50
Yeah,
people at the
most 30
most
people,
might
yeah.
fit in the worship center. So anyway, we went there, enjoyed the service, and then similar to Pat, after we were just trying to connect with a few people. It was an English speaking church on Madeira, and yeah, struck up conversation. And then what Pat left out of the story is that he and his wife Holly invited us to lunch with them at a beautiful golf club way up on a hill. And yeah, and then we hung out a bunch of times after that and just have stayed in touch. And there's more to the story. We randomly met, after that, and we didn't randomly meet, but we were randomly in Florida at the same time, and
Yep.
connected there. So yeah, it's been a fun journey in over the last year.
Yeah, I love those God moments because you think, okay, there's something's going on here. This is beyond us, and just kind of in anticipating what is going to happen next.
Right.
And it's cool. Like you're in consulting. You're doing LinkedIn consulting. Tell us what happens in your agency. What do you do? How do you help people?
Yeah. Yep. So LinkedIn, as you and probably most of the audience have observed and realized, can be a great way to build new connections, get connected with people, both that you know and that you don't know. And so what we do is help our clients really. We don't do any LinkedIn advertising or any of that, but what we do is essentially help create more organic LinkedIn outreach strategies, messaging strategies, and so on, to help them build up their connections, and then essentially create maybe the sort of the equivalent of drip email marketing approaches, but going through LinkedIn, which puts some different twists on email marketing because you want your messages to be more condensed and all that. So there's more to it than maybe with email marketing. But yeah, that's what we do. We help our clients do that, and help them, connect with and get new clients as well.
Yeah, so what I'm like seeing right off the start, I think about the field of consulting, business consulting, business growth consulting, but there's so
Hmm.
many aspects of consulting that people could specialize in.
Yep.
And it's like, business is growing at this infinitely quick, fast rate. I'm not sure what the word is, Moore's law or something.
Hmm.
It talks about how fast, how quickly knowledge doubles.
Yep.
And forgive me if I got the law wrong there, but it's been a while.
I'm not going to fact check you on that.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So anyway, it doesn't matter really, but um, the field of consulting is vast and it keeps
Mhm.
growing. And now we're into AI and different things like that. And
Yep.
but you've chosen a very mainstream niche, depending how we say it,
Yep.
for LinkedIn, which really kind of positioned you in the center of business consulting, I think.
Yep. Yeah, and it's an area where with LinkedIn, and there are different ways you can use LinkedIn, certainly. Um, but it's especially powerful if you do have sort of a niche audience, because you can really, using some of the LinkedIn tools and some of the strategies that we help our clients with, you can really narrow in, create very targeted messaging, really, you know, make some good things happen.
Yeah, good. So someone wants to get into consulting.
Hmm.
What advice would you give them that might save them from banging their head against the wall multiple
Yeah.
nights? Uh, or what advice would you give someone wanting to get into consulting, just in general? Let's say consulting in general first.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything that can save us from banging our heads against
Okay.
the wall or the bedpost multiple nights.
Yeah.
But a couple of the things that I've experienced. One is really spending some time trying to either get to know your audience or to identify your audience. So some of our clients don't have a very specific target audience. They've got sort of a general idea of the kinds of folks that they can help, and we'll certainly will help them do that. But I think the narrower you can get with who your audience is, it's sort of it seems contradictory, but what we found is that really by like one of we work with coaches and we work with financial advisors. Those are the sort of the two sort of primary audiences that we work with. And what we found by really specializing is that it really opens up so many more opportunities because your messaging can be much more relevant to the people you're reaching out to. So that would be one of the key things I would say um, is just really get identify an audience that you think you can really help, whether it's an industry um, or a job function or whatever the case is, and then really get to know them and get to understand
Yeah.
how to communicate and send messages that resonate with them.
So, who's your specific niche audience then? Like, how do you go after these people? Like, why do you choose the niche? How do you go after them? What are you learning there?
Yeah, we we're working this year. We're working on sort of expanding our marketing, because the way that we are currently going to market and have gone to market since I own the company, which has been about, it'll be 3 years in August, is is exactly the same way that we do it for our clients. So all of our marketing is really through organic sorts. I'll put air quotes around organic because we do use some LinkedIn automation as part of the process. Um, but really messaging people one at a time, and reaching out to them, establishing a new LinkedIn connection slash relationship with them, and then starting to share with them why we reached out, how we connected with them. So, and again, that's where sort of having that niche audience helps,
Yeah.
because then you know what kinds of things are important to that audience, and those are the things that you can highlight in your messaging to them. So we've that's what we've been doing, and that's very powerful. Um, but at the same time, we don't want to put, even though LinkedIn is the platform that we use, we also don't want to put all of our marketing eggs in only that basket.
Right.
So I think for all of us as consultants or marketers, or in any of those areas, I think to have sort of a range or a good marketing plan that is not completely reliant on sort of one magic marketing bullet, because I haven't found the magic bullet to marketing that universally works for everybody. I think different things work for different folks at different times. So what we're trying to learn this year is really how to sort of identify what are our best bets when it comes to marketing, and
All
where we
right.
would
So
put
let
our
me ask you
focus.
something around that though. So
Yeah,
traditional marketing wisdom would say go comprehensive, omni-channel,
yep,
omnipresence, all of that. Go
yep,
across Facebook, LinkedIn,
yep,
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram,
yep,
TikTok, email,
yep.
do it all, right? Um, New people are saying just focus in one area. And new people,
Yeah.
I'd point out one, Alex Hormozy, talks
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
just deep dive into one area. And if
Hmm.
you do that, so um, would it be possible for someone to put everything aside? If you got a team, let's just say you got a marketing manager going to help you
Hmm.
do things. You got
Yeah.
40 hours a week.
Hmm.
If someone were to put 40 hours a week into marketing their business on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
could they get success with that?
I think that's a good question. I think the answer is possibly. It depends on who your audience is. So,
Okay.
and so as an example, um, I had a conversation. I've had conversations with financial advisors, and their target audience is our educators, right? School teachers, college professors, and so on. And so, in my experience, and my daughter, she doesn't teach currently, but she taught elementary, music in elementary um, in the U.S. My son-in-law he's a professor at a college in the Midwest, and they both have LinkedIn profiles, um, but they are not active on LinkedIn. And from
Right.
what they tell me, like their peers are not active on LinkedIn. They might have profiles, but they're not active. So what we always look for is, when we're going to work with a new client, is number one, is your target audience on LinkedIn? And then are there enough of them on LinkedIn? And then the third part is, are they active on LinkedIn?
Right.
Because if those three things aren't true, then that's probably not the best marketing medium for them to be using.
Of course.
And
Right.
so and so to your point, I think, and you're absolutely right. There are perspectives out there that say market in any possible way that you can. But if educators are my audience and I looked at LinkedIn objectively, I'm going to say, well, why bother with LinkedIn? Because that's
Sure.
not where they are. So it's always a matter of figuring out who's your audience, which is again is why it's valuable to know that, and then figure out where they are, and
Right.
then market there, and then test and learn. Try if it's Facebook where you think they are, then do some testing on
Yeah.
Facebook. If you think they're on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever. So yeah. But you're absolutely right. There are people out there that say go everywhere, and then there are people like Alex and others who say you don't have to go everywhere, and it could be a waste of your time to go everywhere. You may want to test a bunch of different places, but at some point you want to settle in on where your best bets are.
Yeah. So we're growing our marketing team, and
Hmm.
I've got someone doing my email marketing. And my
Yep.
challenge to him is, as you do our email marketing, these are the targets for the company.
Yep.
This is what we're expecting to get from this.
Yep.
So to do that, I need this many emails to go out to this
Yep.
list. And I want you to imagine that you're the only source of success for this company.
Yep.
So can we achieve our success with that channel?
Right.
But now I go to the other person that's coming in a different area saying, as we're doing this
Yep.
podcast or whatever, imagine this is the only thing that we're going to do.
Yep.
Can we achieve that success with you? Because
Yep.
maybe they're not going to get 100% success, but maybe they might get 50% there or
Right.
60%. Maybe this person gets another 60%. Between the two, we're going to get at least what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think
Yep.
if I can, my role is then, besides the strategy of marketing the
Mhm.
business, how do we get the right people in the right seats doing the
Yeah.
right things,
Yep.
right, so that we can grow in the way we need to grow.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
yeah, I
yep.
agree that you can't split it all up and say, hey, I'm going to give 2 hours a week to LinkedIn, and it's not going to
Right.
cut it for you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
And another thing that's maybe a little bit different about LinkedIn marketing that's good for people to be aware of, and people who use it will be aware of this, but LinkedIn limits how many messages you can send out, like how many new connections you can request, how many emails, and
true.
so on. So that's sort of an inherent um, scale blocker, if you want to call it that, where you
Yeah,
may not have that. Now, there are ways to work around that. If you've got multiple people on your team that have LinkedIn accounts and you can market, do outreach through additional LinkedIn accounts, you can scale sort of that way. But it's a little bit different than than email marketing or Facebook or some other marketing channels as well. But it's good for people to be aware of. They're not.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, let's switch gears a little bit. I want to hear
Yep.
about setbacks in your journey. Like
Yep.
what significant setbacks have you had, let's say the last 6, 8 months, year,
Hmm.
couple years, and then also tied in, how has your faith
Hmm.
impacted the way you recover from those setbacks?
Yeah. Yep. Um, so I think most, I don't know about anybody who's listening, and you and I haven't talked specifically about this, but I find that I'm usually my own worst setback. And usually the way that sort of works itself out is that I can get distracted. Like I can think, okay, I want to take my business down this path, or I want to take it down that path, or I want to try this thing or that thing. And so that can be distracting, and it can keep me from really focusing the way that I should focus. So what's interesting about that though, and this um I read a book a few years ago by Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy called "Who Not How." I don't know if you're familiar with that book, but basically, the and Pat Lencioni has a book I just read recently called "The Six Types of Working Genius." So both
Okay.
really really good books. But what they talk about is um, not not trying to do everything yourself and really finding the people that can help you accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish, and sort of simultaneously having a clear understanding of where you can help out the best, where your strengths are and so on. But I think it's interesting, so uh, how that has sort of sort of the faith application in that is that just in terms of we read about how the church, for example, is made up of many members, all with different gifts and different sort of body parts, using the sort of anatomic analogy, and and that is so true in business as well. So I think just there are so many sort of faith applications to what happens in business, um, that even if somebody doesn't have a you know strongly subscribe to a particular faith, the applications and the value is still there, and that's one of them. So as I've struggled with some of these things, just trying to figure out how to get everything done, it's really encouraged me to think about, okay, well, who has these skills, whether on
Yeah.
my team or outside of my team, and how can I help them sort of understand and realize their purpose, while helping serve me accomplish my objectives. So that's been interesting over the past year, especially, is where I've really started to see that more and more and really try to narrow in on making adjustments there.
Yeah, it's good. Someone gave me the phrase extreme skills.
Mm,
And it's interesting, as you think about, as a consultant, you're running a business basically.
hmm.
It could be a solopreneur. You're running your own business. You're running your own show.
Yep.
Now, someone likened it once to, you're crossing this like medieval bridge, and this bridge has big stones on it, flagstones.
Yep.
And to get success, you have to get to the other side of the bridge.
Hmm.
And some people have a marketing skill,
Yep.
but that's a stone on the bridge, but they don't
Yep.
have a sales skill.
Yep.
So they can't take the next step, and they fall in the water basically. They don't
Right.
get to success because they don't know how to sell, don't know how to close.
Yep.
Or if they have a sales skill, they get a client, but they don't know how to actually consult. They don't have
Right.
the competence to consult, or the
Yeah.
experience, gray hair,
Yep.
whatever it needs. Or they don't have the skill to manage their business.
Mm. Yep.
And there are all these skills that you need, the systems you need to run a great business.
Yep.
And we come in with one skill. And I think, for myself, my superpower is innovation.
Hmm.
And it's just what I wake up loving to do. And
Yeah.
I have to manage,
Yep.
but I don't manage well.
Yeah.
So I have to bring people around me who manage well and get all the fine details. I'm not a detail person.
Yep.
I'm the big picture.
Yeah.
I love marketing and I love the strategy behind marketing, and I've been in that space for 20 years, but I
Hmm.
used to be great at digital, but
Yeah.
I didn't keep up. And
Yeah.
don't ask me to do your SEO. That's
Right.
I'll put you out of business maybe. I'll
Yeah.
get you banned on Google. So
Yeah.
you got to surround yourself with great people,
Yeah.
um, and those that believe in the vision of what you're doing and
Yeah.
want to chip in. And I think that's one way we connected, because
Yeah.
you have the LinkedIn marketing skill. I think that a lot of people would be envious of,
Hmm.
and I don't.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
but together, it's we can do some good
You can
things.
make things happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
For
so
sure.
I believe in looking for people with what they say extreme skill,
Yeah. And
and
even
seeing how
to,
can we.
yeah,
Yeah, go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. I
No,
was
no,
just
no,
gonna
you.
say, even to drill down on that a little bit, even so my company has sort of we do LinkedIn, but even in my company, like I don't have all the LinkedIn skills. I've got an operations team and
Yep.
they know way more than I do
Yep.
about how to do it. So I know enough to communicate and share with folks what we do and how we do it. Um, and I tell clients this, I say, when we sign up new clients, I say you're going to go through our whole onboarding process. Our vice president Ian is going to walk you through all that. And usually I'll try to jump on the beginning of those calls, but I usually don't stay on those calls. And I tell them it's usually just because I get in the way. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be helpful to you on this part of the process. So yeah, having the right folks on the team and filling in those gaps is so important.
So, can you share with our audience maybe a top strategy from your business that would benefit our audience? Like, what could they do on LinkedIn that could get them that little shift to bring whatever their efforts are maybe to the next level?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest, and this is true in many, this is true with email. I think it's true with cold calling, like however folks go to market, I think this is true. And that is being persistent and not giving up. So when I bought this company, our approach for that we took for our clients was we would we'd onboard them, we'd get to know their audience, we'd create messages for them. And we would send out maybe 3 to 5 messages, build a new connection and then send 3 to 5 messages over the course of a month or two. And then we would stop. Like that was the end of our strategy.
Yeah.
And it's probably been a couple years ago now. I said, well, we've already got the team, we've got the systems in place, and we know that marketing requires many, many, many touches, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it, and so what I said is, well, why don't we just extend the messages that we send for our customers and the work that we do basically infinitely, like for as long as they're working for us. Like now we phase it out so that we're not sending messages every week because while we do want to be, I call it politely persistent sort of
Right.
over time, while we do want to do that, we also do not want our clients to come across as annoying or spammy. So
Yeah.
we take this phased approach where we send out some messages over the first couple months, and then we send monthly messages, and then essentially a message, every 90 days, roughly every quarter after
Yep.
that. So that would be that type of approach, maybe not that exact timing, but that long-term persistent approach. I've had conversations, we've sold clients that the first conversation was well over a year ago and sometimes up to 2 years, right? But because
Yeah.
we periodically check in and maintain that connection, you just never know. Because so much um, about finding people to do business with is about timing. I might be your ideal client. You might reach out to me today, and for a million reasons, today isn't the right day for me
Sure.
for what you're offering. But that doesn't mean that 3 months from today, or 3 months, or 3 years from today won't be the right day. But you may never know that if you don't sort of keep that connection alive. So that I think is probably one of the biggest things um, is just maintaining that connection again, whether it's email or calling until
Yeah.
people tell you they don't want you to contact them anymore, certainly. But up until that point, we just want to keep that connection going.
So, a couple things on this. I
Hmm.
like that. um, uh, think of a mindset of some people go, oh, you shouldn't follow up so many times, it gets annoying. But think about
Yep.
this. If what you're selling
Hmm.
provides value, and it
Yep.
should, or you should get out of it,
Yep.
or if you think that, like for me, if what I'm offering the market
Hmm.
can serve people at a higher level, can
Yep.
bless people, can bring greater blessing, can bring greater benefit,
Yep.
if I can remove the risk from people at a higher level than others,
Hmm.
if I provide greater value, why would I give up after the third attempt?
Right.
Like, don't I believe in what I'm doing?
Yep.
Now, so that's part one.
Yep.
Now, the tactical side of that is as I continue to reach out to people, it's not about, hey, come buy my stuff. Hey, come buy my stuff. Hey,
Yep.
buy my stuff. That's called spam.
Right.
But what you do on a continual basis
Yep.
is you serve and you give value and you educate and you
Yep.
educate. So when people get your message, it's seen as valuable to them and they look forward to your
Yep.
message and the next message,
Yep.
right? And then once in a while, you're also saying, and you can say it very subtly as well,
Hmm.
I'm available here. You want to
Yeah.
come do business, I'm available, but I'm
Yep.
not here to spam you.
Yep.
There's no tricks and gimmicks.
Yep.
I'm here to serve and I'm here to educate and provide value in your life. And I think when you do that way,
Yep.
you can just keep educating into the next year.
Yeah.
And you're right. At some point, they say 3% is buying now. Some
Yep.
point, you're going to hit some of those people that want what you have.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more. And when we build out messages for our clients, we're always looking for, do you have something of value that we can provide that you're comfortable with? Like that's you're not giving away all your secrets, you're not, giving away all of your help and all of your expertise, but you're giving away something that will help somebody. There always is something that you can share with somebody that's going to help them, even
Yeah.
if it's, an incremental step toward, helping them progress. So yeah, absolutely. And a lot of, both with coaches and financial advisors, it's in my mind, there are two key things. One is timing that we've already talked about, and the other one is trust, which you just touched on. And if I'm a consultant and I want to help you sort of figure out how to help your business grow or help it improve in some meaningful way, before you trust me, I have to demonstrate somehow that I'm trustworthy. And so
Correct.
that's where if we can deliver messages that have some kind of value built into them, or an article that's helpful for them, or something that's of value to them that you're not asking for anything in return, then that's a
Yeah.
big part of the process. Yeah. And then, like you said, every once in a while you mix in a very subtle or soft sort of call to action, which is, hey, if I can help you in any other way, let's connect.
It's very non-threatening. It's very
Yep.
non-salesy. And
Right.
I love that approach. I'm really kind of tired of the internet marketing
Hmm.
mammy stuff that's
Yep.
out there that
Yeah.
makes you want to take a shower.
Yeah.
And you see it repeated so easily.
Yeah.
Um, but you've got to have something of value to provide, and you can't get that, I don't
Yep.
think, by just, taking a 2-hour Facebook course
Right.
um, and getting your little certification.
Yep.
You got a gray hair there as well. I mean, it's,
Yep. Yep.
been around the block a few times, so you know what you're talking
Absolutely.
about. And yeah,
Yep.
good. So Ken, listen, where can our viewers, listeners, whatever, connect with you online?
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. It's advisorappointments.com. So it's www.advisorappointments.com. And they can schedule a meeting through there, connect, send email, whatever works for them.
Good. What can they expect if they do reach out to you?
Yeah, so when I meet with folks, the first thing that I always want to do is get an understanding of their business. Who are your clients? What do you do for them? How do you help them? What kinds of marketing have you tried and liked and tried and haven't liked? Are you doing anything now that's working for you? So really just try to get to understand who their audience is, who they're trying to reach, what the value is that they provide, and sort of how they're communicating that currently. And I'll let folks know I've I've talked plenty of prospective clients out of doing business with us simply because I didn't think it was a good fit. And
Right.
so that's really what on that first call that I do with folks, I'm really just trying to figure out, do I think that we can be of service here? And
Yeah.
if not, I'll tell you. Like if you're looking for only, elementary music teachers on LinkedIn, I'm gonna tell you we'll do it if you really want to, but I don't think you should pay us to do that because there are other ways that you can do it.
Okay. Good to know. Well, that's as Jay Abraham said, the strategy of preeminence.
Yeah.
You treat clients as people under your care and guidance and protection,
Yep.
and you don't treat them as just people you're trying to make a quick buck from, but you're really
Right.
put yourself in their shoes. And that's the golden rule as well, right?
Yep.
What Jesus taught is how can we treat others in the way that we would like to be treated if the roles were reversed?
Yep.
So, well,
Yep.
there you go. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Ken. Appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Thanks,
And
Pat.
and we'll keep in touch. Let's
All
go.
right. That sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Consulting Kingdom. You've discovered valuable insights and strategies to enhance your consulting practice and to make a meaningful kingdom impact in your corner of the world. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your feedback helps us to reach more consultants like you. To experience the Kingdom Growth Engine software firsthand and to stay connected, follow us on social media and visit our website at kingdomgrowthengine.com. Until next time, continue practicing your consulting skills, offer your assistance generously, bring value wherever you go, and serve with the heart of a king. Cheers!